Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano. And this is episode 205 of the world famous University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. Uno, dos, tres galaxies, okay? Un, dos, tres. I think that's French. Best galaxy and three. The best podcast in 3 galaxies. But you and I, we just call it online marketing moves. And we are coming to you live today. Today is Tuesday, April 6, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about being an entrepreneur and a couple of other things. Now, before we get into the show, I'm going to discuss with you. I ran a Facebook ad, not a big one, not too big of a one, but I ran a Facebook ad for a podcast episode of mine. I wrote my little ad and I put, listen to the podcast, this, that, and the other. And I think it cost me no more than $10. I wasn't trying to spend too much money because, well, Facebook, to me, in my opinion, Facebook ads, they're okay, but after a while, by the time you've seen 60 ads, by the time you see an ad about a podcast, you're like, I don't give 2 F's about that. Get that out of my face. So I ran a small, plus, I'm not trying to break the bank with a Facebook ad for a podcast because, there's a lot of podcasts in the world. So I am going to, I am going to get 1 million listeners the good old fashioned hard way. You know what I mean? I don't know if the Facebook ads are going to help. I mean, they can only help a little bit, but I ran one and it reached up to like 1,500 people. So 1,500 people laid eyes on the podcast. They might know what online marketing moves is. I had a few listeners. So for the $10 I paid, it might be worth it. It might not. I don't know. I can't tell you the results now. I can only tell you in the future. So I will keep you updated to see if anybody, hits me up and they're like, I saw your ad on Facebook and I just had to listen to this podcast. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to discuss with you entrepreneurship. Now, the reason I bring this up is you see it all the time. I mean, you and I, we are on the internet. We're not blind. We're not naive. We see all these people. You see all these people walking around with 5 or 6 other people, quote unquote, getting on jets, getting in Lambos, doing this, doing that. Team this, team that, blah 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 blah. They claim they're entrepreneur, but most of the time they're just con men. Entrepreneurship. I will tell you what entrepreneurship is. This week, my wife, she's down to this week. She has 0 employees, and she's running a camp because it's spring break here in Georgia. So a lot of the kids are out of school. So a lot of the kids, they come to the Young Chefs Academy of Sandy Springs to take culinary classes on a daily basis throughout the week. Whenever they have spring break or any kind of break, like during the summer, they have this camp called Camp Can I Cook. It's a very good. My wife does an excellent job of doing different recipes and all that kind of stuff. But the point is, one of her employees quit. They quit like last week. They gave maybe a few days notice, but it wasn't a lot of time. And I was talking to my wife, and she said, "Man, I got to be in there. I'm gonna be in there every day by myself." And lucky for her, which this normally happens, I'm gonna be off for the rest of the week. I'm gonna be on vacation, so I'm gonna be at the house doing a lot of writing and a lot of podcasts and everything. So I told her, I said, if you need my help, then by all means, just call me up, or not call me up, but let me know before you head out, or in the morning if I need to go to the grocery store to make a run to Sam's or Costco, just let me know. And she's like, I greatly appreciate it. She's like, well, that's a good time. And I said, yes, it is good. It's a great time, because sometimes, when you run a small business, that's one of the things about running a small business is people come, people go. You know what I mean? Because my wife, she doesn't pay. I mean, she doesn't give out health insurance. She pays a pretty good wage, but people are always looking for more. People are always looking for, and I get it. Like one young lady, she quit to become a teacher at a school because she said, I'm like 30 years old now and I need health benefits. And I was like, I can see that. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? So this week, my wife, she's gonna run the whole store by herself. And I remember my friend when he opened his donut shop. One of the things we used to talk about, he said, man, I make the donuts, sell the donuts, put on the donut costume, get out there and get to it. And these are some of the things that you have to do when you are, you want to start a business, you want to run a business. Doesn't matter what kind of business. If you just want to, do a business by yourself, it doesn't matter. You have to be willing to make sacrifices. It's not all, all these people highlight on social media. They try to highlight the highs of entrepreneurship, which that's fine and everything like that. But you have to remember the trying times. You have to remember the ups and the downs. It's not always going to be a smooth a smooth boat ride. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be some choppy waters. There's gonna be some days that you get frustrated. There's gonna be days that you are pissed off. There's gonna be days that you just like f all this. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the best thing about being an entrepreneur and the best thing about working for yourself and trying to create something, you know what I mean? Like trying to do something different. It's is that when it pays off, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like I can go down to my job and they can give me a promotion and like lately they've been giving me a lot of compliments, a lot of pats on the back. I mean, I appreciate that and everything like that. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm always gonna work hard at the job. I'm not gonna just poo-poo it because I'm trying to do something else with myself, with my life. You know what I mean? Like my pursuit of working for myself is always at the forefront of my mind. But don't get me wrong, I'm gonna work hard at the job. And lately they've been giving me a lot of compliments and talking about moving me up and rank and all that kind of stuff, which I appreciate. But that hard work just drives me more and more to this. You know what I mean? Like people romanticize entrepreneurship, but it's nice. But once you hit the goal that not the goal, but once you really get this thing rocking and rolling, you will see it will make a world of difference in your life. It will make you, very excited. Like I've stayed up, I've stayed up, you know, I've gotten 2 hours of sleep sometimes. I've gotten 1 hour of sleep, 3 hours of sleep, just trying to do, come home and because me and my wife, we take care of my mother-in-law. So, come home, feed her, and then, that takes a little while. Make sure she's all right. And then I get to it. And then sometimes I don't go to bed till like 7, 8 o'clock. Because I have to get up and go back to work. But I'm like, I don't care because for me, this is my labor of love. Like I love this. I love doing podcasts. I love writing. I love trying to figure out the blog. Like I know me myself, I'm always gonna be slower than I'm always gonna be slower than the next person because I'm a hard headed cuss. Like I'm always gonna do things. I don't ask me why, but most of the time things get done around here the hard way. Like I know I'm gonna get to my goal. I know I'm gonna keep going, and I know I'm gonna get there. But it's like, all right, it's gonna take a little while. It's like people told me they said, "Hey, you should probably just do videos instead of doing a podcast." I'm like, I would like to do videos, but if I'm sitting in the back of a truck, I don't have time to try to, upload the camera and all this and all that because I remember the first time I brought my camera to when I was still over the road, I brought my camera and everything, and I was outside, and I remember I was outside. I was in Pennsylvania, and I was like, all right, now's a good time to set up the camera and do a video. And of course, what happened? I got to setting it up and everything, and it just started raining. It was like pouring rain. It was like cats and dogs. I was like, of course. So I just went and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick with the podcast. It might take a little longer. In the blogging. Of course, I need to do more blogging. I definitely need to do more blogging, but I'm like, the videos will come. The videos are not going anywhere. I have screencasts and I have my Canon M50. Like I have all that. I just have to start doing videos more and more. With the videos, me myself, I probably need to produce them in one day. Just film them and then produce them and then send them out to somebody so they can edit them, upload them, do thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. So that's that. But I'm telling you all this just to say, you got to have you know, this is a passion thing. You know what I mean? Like nobody's looking like I told you before. I probably said this before, and I'll tell you again. My wife, she loves me whether I pursue writing, whether I pursue online and online income. She's gonna love me regardless. She loved me when I was just old Tony the truck driver. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't looking for me to be be telling her, hey, I write poetry, and hey, I've been writing these short stories and all this and all that. No, she likes it. She enjoys it. She likes to read the stuff that I wrote. You know what I mean? Like she enjoyed. She sees that I have a drive for this stuff, and she's on board with it, and she supports me, and I greatly appreciate that. But she wasn't like, man, you need to run a business. You know what I mean? Like she has a business. She has her own business. So, and the same as vice versa with me and her. Like I love my wife when she was an employee at her job. Before she went out and you know got a loan and bought the place and you know took it to another level. You know what I mean? Like people, it's it's not about other people. I know people love to tell you, what's your why and all this and all that. Like, and that's important too. But at the end of the day, it's you. Like nobody's going to the people that love you, they're gonna love you regardless. It doesn't matter, if you're an entrepreneur or not. But for you, if you really have, if it's if it's in you, it's in you. If it's not, it's not. Like my brother, I love my brother to death. I know him. He doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. That's not his goal. That's not his thing. His thing is to go to work, you know, get off on Friday and be like, hey, he'll text me. He texts me sometimes and he's like, it's the weekend, man. I'm about to kick it. And I'm like, kick it. What you got going on? He's like, shh, I just bought me a 65-inch TV. I've been working overtime. They're gonna cut me my check. And that makes my brother happy, which, I ain't knocking him, you know what I mean? Like I wish some days when I'll tell you like this. Some days when I'm running on an hour sleep, 2 hours sleep, I'm thinking to myself, I wish I could turn this entrepreneur passion off. I wish I could turn this stuff off, but I can't turn it off. I've tried to squelch it before and it don't work. Like anytime I thought about trying to start a business or run a business, I'm like, no, 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 no. But it's been at the back of my mind for a long time, and it's moved its way to the front. Now it's at the front of the line, and now it's like, come on, sir, I want some more. Give me some more. Give me what you got. So here we are, but it's not all. And I ain't saying it, and I ain't saying it ain't great, and I'm not saying that it's not worth it. But what I'm saying is, don't fall for the romance. You know what I mean? Like, you know how it is when you first meet somebody. Like whenever you first meet somebody, whenever you first meet somebody and you date them, like that first couple weeks is like the greatest time that you can have with somebody because they're a complete stranger. Like you just getting to know people is exciting. You know what I mean? Like getting to know somebody is like, oh man, that's so cool. They're so nice. They're so sweet. You know what I mean? Like that first date, second date, just get the first month of getting to know somebody because they laugh at all your jokes. I mean, let's be honest with each other. They laugh at all your jokes. You think you're funnier than what you are. They're like, "Ooh, you're so beautiful. You're so handsome. You're so cute. You're so this. You're so that. I love the way your nose wiggles." And by the time after a while, year 12, my wife, she's like, ah, you know, every blue moon, she's like, "You still handsome." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." She's like, "Uh-huh." In the beginning, she was always talking about how nice I looked. You know what I mean? Like the romance. I'm not saying the romance is dead, but you know what I mean. You get into we are in the fight now. You know what I mean? Like we are in the battle. Of our relationship. We're making this thing work. It's two people learning each other, getting along. And turning, like I love her to death, but now we need to do more. We need to do more things than just love each other. We need to, get financially, spiritually, all that kind of stuff, aligned with each other. You know what I mean? Like we are going down that path, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's not like the first month that we was dating. You know what I mean? Like everything's like, oh, and that's how entrepreneurship is. Like at first, you're like, yes, 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 but once you get into it, once you get into the throes of it, some days you're just like, you know what, I can't stand this. You know what, f this. I quit. Like I haven't. I've quit the podcast 3 times. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this podcast. Like, yeah, I'm done. I'm tired of talking. I'm like, who am I talking to? Like the first month, I was like, by the fourth week, I'm like, who am I talking to? Like, what's going on right here? You know what I mean? Like, it was just frustrating. It was just annoying after a while. But it's like, nah, man, this is gonna catch on. You know what I mean? And eventually, we starting to gain some traction, gain some traction, gain some traction, and that's how it's gonna be for you, like, yeah, you're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna get annoyed, your spouse might be like, why are you always on that computer? Why are you always doing this and doing that? Blah 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 blah. No matter what people tell you, it's you, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're going. This is why we're gonna keep striving. You know what I mean? Like keep running that race and you'll get there. You know what I mean? Entrepreneurship is not, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for everybody. My brother, my parents, they don't want to be entrepreneurs. They're like, nah. Somebody cut me my check and let me go. You know what I mean? Me, I'm I got it. I feel it. It's in me bones. Like I know what I want. I know what I want to do, and I'm excited to get there. But just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind whenever you get down in the dumps or when you get down in the mouth. All right. But anyway, we will be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. Ladies and gentlemen, I must give you an announcement before I go. I am 3/4 of the way done cleaning out the baby's room, okay? Me and my wife, we were making a room for the baby. 3/4 done. That's another thing. That's another thing. Besides doing all this jazz, trying to have a have a baby is woo. That's tough. But you know what? I love it. I love every second of it. But anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, take care of yourselves and enjoy episode 245. And if you haven't already, people, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell a friend. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to Tony Rizzano so you can get all your videos. And you can follow me on. Now, listen, before I go, that's another thing I was going to discuss with you. You can follow me. I was going to make all this. I thought about it. I was going to make all these different, online marketing moves, Instagram, online marketing moves, Twitter, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, for what? You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest with you. I don't know about you, but social media, I don't do a good job of keeping up with that stuff because it's not. I don't really. I don't care. Like I don't care about a post on Instagram. Like don't get me wrong. You can create a big Instagram following. You can. I'm sure you can. God bless whoever's doing it. But I would just have to farm that out. I would just have to pay somebody because I'm not interested in Instagram. I'm not that interested in. I mean, I have the Facebook page, Online Marketing Moves. You can check that out. Like, don't get me wrong, that's not bad. I don't mind that one. But the Instagram and the Twitter, I thought to myself, you got to be kidding me. And then I thought about the TikTok. I changed my name, which was a mistake. I changed it from T Rizano to Online Marketing Moves. I'm like, why in the F would I do that? Just be T Rizano. You know what I mean? Like people want to see a person. They don't want to see a name or nothing like that. You know what I mean? On TikTok, so I can do a few videos on TikTok and try to do that a little bit. But the Instagram and the Twitter, I'm like, I'll just tell people, just follow T Rizano if you want to, whatever. But and I know some people like you need social media, but do you really need social media all the time? No, not really. I mean, it's fine. It's nice, you know what I mean? It's like it's a good vehicle, but the main thing you want to do, of course, with any social media, any platform, is you want to drive them to the offer that you are trying to give them, or drive them to the email list, or drive them somewhere. That's the main thing about social media. You trying to drive them off the social media into your world. I mean, that's the whole purpose. That's the whole point. You know what I mean? So don't be on social media with bags of money because that's not going to do you any good. Be on there for the purpose. Be on there to try to push people into your world. Like that's what social media is for. Unless you just want to, unless you, I mean, if you're creating content and you're just hanging out on Facebook all day, then it's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So don't be one of those people. But if you're creating content, you want to create a business and all that kind of stuff, then you should definitely just upload your stuff and get out. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. But anyway, that's it for the podcast. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will be back tomorrow with a brand new one. But until then, my name is Tony Rizano. And don't forget to follow us Facebook, Online Marketing Moves. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, Tony Rizano. That's RESONNO. You can go to Twitter, look up T Rizano. You can go to Instagram, T Rizano. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, TikTok for right now it's Online Marketing Moves. But at the end of the month, we're gonna just change it back to T Rizano. It's not a big deal. Follow us on all those social media sites. Hit me up if you want to contact me. Hit me up at Tony at onlinemarketingmoves.com. If you have any questions about the podcast, if you like the podcast, you love the podcast, however you feel, you can email me. We can discuss it. We can chit chat. You can tell me what you are working on, what you are trying to do. You can always go to Medium if you want to read some articles I've written in the past. It's not that hard to find me, Tony Rizano on Medium. And if you want to read a blog that needs work, you can always go to thelousydriver.com. You can check all that out. We will put all of that in the show notes. But until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Rizano. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody. This is for my wife, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody. And something like that. She likes the Backstreet Boys, so I remember that was one of the songs. But anyway, until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you later. And as always, everybody, peace.